Have you ever looked at a Van Gogh painting with its swirling colors and bold lines and wondered where he got his inspiration? What if I told you a big part of the answer lies halfway across the world, in the vibrant, scandalous pleasure quarters of 18th century Japan? Get ready, because today we're diving into the floating world, or Ukiyo, a place of fleeting pleasures that unexpectedly and permanently change the course of Western art. Picture this. You're in Edo, what we now call Tokyo. The strict samurai government has a tight grip on society, but in one special district, the rules are different. This is Yoshiwara, the licensed pleasure quarter. It's a glittering, self-contained city of tea houses, theaters, and courtesans. For the merchants who were getting rich but still had low social status, this was their escape. A place to spend their money on beauty, entertainment, and a break from the rigid rules of everyday life. They called it the floating world, a reminder that pleasure, like life itself, is transient. So where does art fit into all this? Well, the people of Edo wanted souvenirs of their time in the floating world. They wanted posters of their favorite kabuki actors, portraits of the most famous courtesans, and scenes from the lively streets. But oil paintings were expensive and slow. They needed something cheap, fast, and mass-produced. Enter the Ukiyo-e, or pictures of the floating world. This was a revolutionary art form. A team of artisans worked together. A publisher who commissioned the work, an artist who drew the design, a carver who chiseled it onto woodblocks, and a printer who applied the ink and pressed it onto paper. This assembly line process meant they could produce thousands of stunning, colorful prints for about the same price as a bowl of noodles. Art was no longer just for the rich and powerful, it was for everyone. The masters of Ukiyo-e, artists like Hokusai, Hiroshige, and Utamaro, weren't just making posters. They were innovators. They flattened perspective, used bold, black outlines, and experimented with unusual compositions, like cropping figures at the edge of the frame, or showing a scene from a strange bird's-eye view. They captured everyday life with a new kind of energy, the dramatic poses of a kabuki star, the delicate beauty of a geisha adjusting her hairpin, or the quiet majesty of Mount Fuji seen from a bustling road. These weren't grand historical scenes. They were intimate, fleeting moments of life, love, and nature. For over 200 years, Japan was almost completely closed off from the rest of the world. These ukiyo-e prints were a domestic phenomenon. But in the 1850s, when Japan was forced to open its ports to international trade, everything changed. Suddenly, Japanese goods began flooding into Europe. Tea, silks, fans, and the ukiyo-e prints that were often used as cheap packing material to wrap delicate porcelain. Imagine being an artist in Paris at that time. You unwrap a vase from Japan, and tucked inside is this incredible print. The colors are unlike anything you've seen. The composition is daring. There are no heavy shadows, just flat planes of vibrant color. It's like a window into a completely different visual universe. For artists tired of the strict academic rules of European painting, this was a revelation. It was a jolt of pure, unadulterated creativity. This craze for all things Japanese became known as Japonisme, and it swept through the Impressionist and Post-Impressionist movements. You can see it everywhere. Look at Edgar Degas' paintings of ballerinas. His off-center compositions and cropped figures are taken straight from the Ukiyo-e playbook. Mary Cassatt's intimate portraits of mothers and children echo the gentle domestic scenes of Utamaro. She even started making her own prints directly inspired by the Japanese woodblock technique. And then there's Vincent van Gogh. He was obsessed. He collected hundreds of ukiyo-e prints, hung them in his studio, and even copied them directly to understand their secrets. Look at his Bridge in the Rain, a direct copy of a print by Hiroshige. But he wasn't just copying, he was absorbing the style. The bold outlines, the flat fields of color, the expressive energy of his brush strokes, all of these were supercharged by his encounter with Japanese art. It helped free him from reality and paint the world as he felt it. Even the iconic The Great Wave off Kanagawa by Hokusai made a huge impact. Its powerful curling form inspired countless Western artists and even composers like Claude Debussy, whose musical piece La Mer captures that same sense of oceanic power and beauty. The influence was everywhere, from the patterns in Whistler's paintings to the decorative arts of the Art Nouveau movement. It's an incredible story, isn't it? An art form born in the ephemeral pleasure districts of Edo, created as affordable souvenirs for merchants, and city dwellers ended up traveling across the globe to ignite a revolution in modern art. It taught Western artists to see the world differently, to find beauty in the everyday, to embrace asymmetry, and to use color and line not just to describe, but to express. The floating world may have been about fleeting pleasures, but its artistic legacy is anything but. It's a powerful reminder that inspiration can come from the most unexpected places, and that a simple woodblock print, once used as packing paper, can hold enough power to change the way we see the world. Thanks so much for floating along with me on this journey today. If you enjoyed this dive into art history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories behind the art. Let me know in the comments which ukiyo-e artist is your favorite. See you next time.